Hello and welcome once again to another super duper awesome fun science lesson. My name is Brett Sieber. I'm an interpretive naturalist for the Three Rivers Park District located at the Lowry Nature Center in the great state of Minnesota, and again today partnering with our friends at Tierney to bring you a lesson on seeds. You're like, well, Mr. Brett, really this shouldn't be all that long because yeah, we take a seed, we plant it in the ground, and boom, we have more plants. Sure, this time of year in Minnesota, and probably where you live too, we are putting seeds in the ground to grow plants that will eventually become food. But that's people. How do the plants get those seeds out and about? Because if you're a plant, you often can't just drop your seeds directly beneath you because there won't be any sort of sunlight, water, or space for your young plants to grow. Today, we're going to talk about how a seed forms in the first place, and then we're going to get into all of these super duper awesome ways that plants have come up with to get their seeds out and away from themselves. Let's get started. Alright, so in order for a plant to produce a seed, it has to have a flower. That is the whole purpose of a flower. And of course, seeds are needed to make more of itself. Let's be clear. Producing a seed is not the only way a plant can go ahead and make more of itself. However, it is what we're talking about today. So, flowers, we're like, oh man, we love flowers. They're pretty, they smell nice. We give them to our moms because we want them to feel special because, let's be clear, they are very special people. However, the real purpose of a flower is to produce a seed. When a flower is turned into a seed, big fancy science word, pollination. It's one of the insect's super duper mega important jobs, turning flowers into seeds. Now I have my whiteboard here with me. Pollination. Remember, I'm a naturalist, not an artist, so I drew a tulip. It's kind of what I feel confident in drawing. If you feel the need to laugh, that is okay. If we were to peel away the petals, what we would see inside the tulip looks a little more like this. And at the bottom is that nectar. And let's be clear, that's what the insects are after, is that sweet, tasty plant juice that's down at the bottom of the flower. The plant got real smart about this. In order to get down there, it has to crawl past this long, skinny thing with this little knob on the top. This is called the stamen. And up on the top of the stamen, that yellow powdery stuff, the pollen. In order to get down to the nectar, that pollen, and they have to crawl past that. Some of that gets stuck to the little fuzzy bodies. They go down, fill up the little insect belly with nectar, and then they climb back out past this middle part called the stigma. And on the end of the stigma, it is sticky to attract the pollen. Now, pollen from one flower going into itself doesn't particularly happen or doesn't really often work. However, it's when that insect leaves this one, flies to the next flower, climbs back down in, as it goes past that sticky stigma, some of the pollen from the one flower gets transferred to the other flower, and boom! The magic of pollination is now underway. The flower slowly disappears, the leaves go away, and the ovary, that part down at the bottom, starts to turn into a seed. Once a seed is present, it is now time for the plant to figure out a way of how it's going to get the seed out and away from itself, and that is what we're going to explore next. Here are some of the most common seeds we have in Minnesota this time of year. You probably recognize these. These are what used to be dandelion flowers. What's left now are these little teeny tiny white poofs. And if you look carefully down at the end of the poof, that's right, the little brownish thing that's on the end, that's the seed. And when we let these go, they floated right past the lens of the camera. That's right, dandelions use the wind to spread out their seeds. Once the seeds are ready, the wind picks up and they blow away and land, hopefully in a suitable place where they can grow into another flower. All right, so here's another example of a plant that uses the wind. It's this one right next to me. It's called mullein. Sometimes it's called lamb's ear. Occasionally it's called nature's toilet paper. Its leaves are really soft. It's a 2-year plant, something we call a biennial. In the second year, it shoots this stalk up, bright yellow flower. When the flower goes to seed, the seed pods open up, and as it blows in the wind, it shakes the little teeny tiny pepper-sized seeds out like a salt shaker, like a pepper shaker on the ground next to it. Because it's only going to live for 2 years, it can go ahead and drop seeds right here and not worry about hogging the resources and the space for the young plants. All right, so here is a sumac bush. Now, some plants don't use the wind. Instead, they make fruit. And you're like, well, I like fruit. Yeah, we all love fruit. Think about, though, on the inside of an apple, what is there? That's right, seeds. On the inside of a watermelon, what is there? Well, unless you get one of the seedless ones, which seems kind of weird to me, seeds. As humans, we eat around that and we throw the seeds away and we put them in compost. But if you're an animal, if you're a bird, you land here, you eat the fruit, seeds and all. And seeds have that hard outer covering that will not be digested as it travels through the animal's system. And then, I don't know, an hour or two after they eat, out come the seeds in their poop. That's right. Plants surround seeds with fruit to make it tasty. The animals eat it. They walk, fly somewhere else, go to the bathroom, and out come the seeds. And the plant has yet another way of spreading out its seeds. All right, so what's right here next to me might be one of my favorite plant seed dispersal methods. It is the hitchhiker. No, not because we're next to the road and it's got its thumb out. Remember, plants don't have thumbs. Come on. No. Instead, its seed pods are these burrs. Sometimes people call them cockleburs. If we look closely, you can see all those teeny little hooks and lines on there that when an animal walks past this plant, brushes up against it, it sticks to its fur, and of course it gets stuck to us too. And then you carry this seed wherever you go. When you realize, you're like, oh, what's this? Or if an animal brushes up against a tree, this flakes off and falls onto the ground. Inside this burr are the seeds from the burdock plant, and that, my friends, is how this plant spreads its seeds out. All right, so I have found a couple acorns just like this one. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to hide one real quick, and then I'm going to take another one down to the water, and I want to show you something really cool. So hold on one moment. All right. Get this hidden back here. Take care of that. All right, now to the water to show you something really cool with an acorn. All right, so let's say that the oak tree where this acorn grew was near a body of water, maybe a lake, maybe a pond, maybe a river. And that acorn falls out of the tree and into the water. Voila! It floats. And if the water, if it drifts across the other side of the pond, lands on the shore somewhere else, maybe grows into a tree, maybe it lands in a river and the stream, the water takes it down the river and eventually ends up on the shore somewhere, out come the roots, and now we have a brand new plant far away from the original parent plant. I mean, I know I put it back here somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. It's just, I seem to have lost my acorn. But wait, that is yet another form of seed dispersal used by plants. If you're an oak tree, you make acorns, and squirrels love acorns, and they spend all fall hiding them, tucking them away, and keeping them in a good, safe place so they have food in the wintertime. But some of those acorns, the squirrels, they never find them. And in the springtime, if they picked a really good spot and put it down in the soil and we get a little bit of water and some sunlight, wham, bam, boom, we got a brand new oak tree growing in its place, and the plant has succeeded in making more of itself. Well, thanks for joining me today as we learned all about seeds. I hope that you are going to head out into your neighborhood, wherever it is you may be, in search of seeds and trying to find, can you find seeds that use the wind? Can you find some that are going to be eaten, that are hitchhiking, that are being hidden, and maybe even floating in the water? Now, if you are looking for more information on the Three Rivers Park District, you can visit our website. If you're looking for more content to go along with the video from today, you can visit Tierney's website. My name is Brett Sieber. Until we see each other again, get outside.